Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations where we generally look at one or another lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the daily office lectionary. And for today, for Tuesday, I thought we'd go ahead and we would take a look at the lesson that's assigned for morning prayer from the first book of Samuel. Now, remember, we talked previously about how Hannah was praying, asking God for a child from her husband Elkanah, and of course, she made a vow, a pledge to God, that if in fact he gave her a child, she would dedicate that child to the service of the temple. And so we pick up there having given birth to Samuel the prophet. And the man Elkanah and all his house went up to offer to the Lord the yearly sacrifice and his vow. But Hannah went not up, for she said unto her husband, I will not go up until the child be weaned, and then I will bring him, that he may appear before the Lord, and there abide forever. And Elkanah her husband said unto her, do what seemeth thee good. Tarry until thou hast weaned him. Only the Lord established his word. So the woman abode and gave her son suck until she weaned him. And when she'd weaned him, she took him up with her, and 3 bullocks, and 1 ephah of flour, and a bottle of wine, and brought them into the house of the Lord in Shiloh. And the child was young. And they slew a bullock, and they brought the child to Eli. And she said, O my Lord, as thy soul liveth, my Lord, I am the woman who stood by thee here, praying unto the Lord. For this child I prayed, and the Lord hath given me my petition, which I asked of him. Therefore also I have lent him to the Lord. As long as he liveth, he shall be lent to the Lord. And he worshipped the Lord there. And Elkanah went to Ramah, to his house. And the child did minister unto the Lord before Eli, the priest. Okay, so first of all, let's talk a little bit about the weaning. People are like, how could she leave a 1 or a 2-year-old into the service of the temple? When in fact, children during this time period, and actually throughout most of the world, with breastfeeding, which is the natural way to feed your children, of course, it's the way God created us. And the weaning in older ancient times, as well as for most of the world, can be as late as 4 or 5. So again, terribly young for us to consider leaving a child in the service of others, but not the 2 or 1-year-old that we think most commonly of about weaning age. So Hannah has dedicated Samuel to the service of the temple. Now, I imagine that Eli the priest, when she says, I'm the woman who was praying, and she doesn't give a whole lot of description, but says that I asked and you prayed for me. My guess is that Eli has probably over the years heard a lot of prayers and a lot of desires of people. Whether he would remember her particularly or not, who knows? But we do know, and we'll find this out later in the service, that in the lessons from Samuel, that Eli the priest had 2 sons, Phinehas and Hophni, and they are evil. They're wicked, and they don't do the Lord's will. Samuel will be the one that God works through as the great prophet who will ultimately bring a king to Israel at the people's request. God is, you don't really want a king, but the people, yes, we do. Yes, we do. And so God gives it to him, and much to their own chagrin. Be careful what you ask for is the old expression, certainly. So here we see the beginning of Samuel's life in the temple. So he is raised up, surrounded by the worship of the Lord. Maybe not with the most faithful of people around him, but God is working in him and through him from a tender young age. So today's Tuesday, God willing, and the creek don't rise, we will have Holy Communion today at 12:15, and I hope that you can join us here at St. John's or online at stjohnsdetroit.org. And may God bless you with a wonderful Tuesday.